Hey there. There's a pretty good chance you're watching this on some kind of computer right now. Maybe a laptop, a tablet, or even the smartphone in your hand. But this thing is so much more than just a screen. It is, and this is no exaggeration, probably the most important invention of the modern age. It has completely, and I mean completely, remade our world. So, let's dive into how.
Right, so that's the big question for today, isn't it? How did this device, this collection of circuits and silicon and code, how did it fundamentally change, well, everything? We're going to break it all down, starting from the very basics and then zooming out to its massive global impact.
So first up, let's just take a moment to appreciate how deep this goes. The computer isn't just a tool we pick up and use. No. It's more like the invisible architecture of our modern world. It's the quiet operating system that's just running in the background of all of our lives.
I mean, just think about your day so far. The alarm that woke you up, the traffic lights on your commute, the little machine that processed your morning coffee order. A computer was involved in every single step. It's become this universal tool that can adapt to pretty much any human need or industry on the entire planet.
Okay, so that's the big picture. But to really get a handle on its impact, we need to zoom in a bit and ask a really basic question. What is a computer, anyway?
And you know what? At its very core, the definition is almost shockingly simple. A computer is just an electronic device that takes in raw data, does something to it, processes it, and then spits out useful information. The real magic isn't in that definition. It's in the nearly infinite number of ways we can tell it how to process that data.
This simple little three-step flow, input, process, output, is literally the heartbeat of every single computer out there. Think about it. You type a question into a search bar, that's the input. Billions of calculations happen in some massive data center, that's the process. And a second later, you get a map to where you're going. That's the output. Every amazing thing a computer does, it's all built on doing that fundamental loop over and over and over again, just incredibly fast.
But wow, getting here was one heck of a journey. I mean, we went from ancient counting tools like the abacus to computers that filled entire rooms back in the 20th century. And what's just mind-boggling is that in only a few decades, we've taken the power of those gigantic machines, multiplied it by millions, and then shrunk it down to something that fits right in the palm of your hand. It's incredible.
So, we've covered what it is, but how does it all actually work? Well, it all boils down to this really essential partnership between two different, but equally important sides of the same coin.
And this slide really shows that partnership perfectly. It's hardware versus software. A really good way to think about it is like a body and a mind. The hardware is the physical body, the brain, the hands, the eyes. But the software, that's the consciousness. It's the thoughts and instructions that tell the body what to do. One is totally useless without the other. Now, if we look closer at the hardware, we find the core team. You've got the CPU, which is basically the brain doing all the heavy lifting and the calculating. Then there's the RAM, which is kind of like the computer's short-term memory, or its workbench, for what it's working on right now. The hard drive is the library, where everything is stored for the long term. And of course, you've got your keyboard and your screen, the senses and the voice of the machine.
And on the software side of things, it helps to think of it in two layers. At the bottom, you have the system software. Think Windows or Mac OS. That's the foundation, like the laws of physics for the computer. It just manages all the basic stuff. And then, sitting on top of that, you have your application software. We just call them apps. These are the tools you actually use every day. Your web browser, your games, your photo editor.
Okay, so we've looked at the what and the how. Now let's do that zoom out again and connect all these technical bits and pieces back to that real-world impact we were talking about at the start. And this really just brings it all home. What makes the computer so incredibly powerful isn't that it does one thing really well. It's that it's a universal machine. It's become a cornerstone of our schools, the main engine of modern work, our primary hub for communication, and our go-to source of entertainment. It's not just one tool, it's a million tools all packed into one.
But the real game changer, the true revolution, happened when we started connecting all these machines to each other. See, a single computer is powerful, for sure, but a billion connected computers, that's something else entirely. The internet basically gave all of our digital brains a global nervous system, letting ideas and information just fly across the world at the speed of light. And that changed society forever. But of course, a tool this powerful doesn't come without a price tag. The speed, the accuracy, the ability to store vast amounts of information, it's revolutionary. But at the same time, this incredible tool demands our constant attention, sometimes in ways that aren't so great for us, leading to everything from eye strain to digital addiction.
It's a trade-off, and one we're all still trying to figure out how to manage. So where do we go from here? I mean, this incredible journey is far from over. The evolution of the computer is still happening right now. So let's take a quick peek at what's coming up on the horizon.
The future seems to be getting built on these three main pillars. You have artificial intelligence, which is teaching computers not just to calculate, but to actually learn and reason. Then there's cloud computing, which unties our data from any one single device, making it available anywhere, anytime. And finally, the Internet of Things, or smart devices, which is dissolving the very idea of a computer into the fabric of our homes, our cars, and our cities.
When you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple truth, which our source material states perfectly. The computer is one of the most important tools of the modern era, and it is indispensable. It's not a gadget anymore. It's truly a foundational pillar of modern civilization.
And all of that leaves us with one last, big, provocative question. The computer totally redefined what was even possible for humanity. So, what's next? What's the next invention that's going to do the same thing? What tool is going to come along and change our world all over again? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.